Called to order the second special meeting of the Finance Committee. Thank everybody for being here tonight. This is our public comment time for the budget. We're going to have a few brief comments from our budget director, who's going to give some highlights on it, and then we will open it up. Everybody gets 3 minutes. There should be a timer down there. Please be sensitive to that so we have time for everyone to speak. I will go down the list and call on everybody who's signed up, and after that, if you would like to speak and you didn't happen to sign up, I'll give you a chance then. So we'll get going. This is Mr. Scott Tesh. He is our budget director. Mr. Tesh, I'll give you the floor if you'll give your presentation.
Thank you much, and good evening, Chairman Clark, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the committee and council. This is a very truncated version of what was presented on Tuesday, so I will do my best to keep this to 2 or 3 minutes, a very high-level highlight of the budget overview. Wanted to quickly touch on, as we did with City Council, as part of the resident survey, there are several priorities that the residents at large looked at and ranked amongst those: crime prevention, streets and sidewalks, and housing programs. But would also note in that bullet point above that in more than half of the areas that we ranked against regional and national benchmarks, we were statistically significantly higher than those. We do have a very good place in terms of our resident perceptions as a place to live, work, and play. Total budget for fiscal year 25, $658.9 million, and you can see the increases by type over there. Operating increasing just under 8%, debt service and capital. In terms of major budget drivers, the compensation study that was discussed at the 4 o'clock meeting by Dr. Campbell is one of the major drivers of the budget. Net increase in lease payments because of balloon payment in our leasing fund, which we have scheduled. Do have some pretty significant replacements in terms of vehicle and equipment acquisition, and then obviously our transit services operations, for which you authorized a contract for a new provider here in the last month or so. In terms of major fee changes and what those might look like for residents, we do have a 3.9 cent proposed increase in the property tax rate for general fund, as well as 2.5 cents for the transit fund. Water and sewer increases of 7% as recommended by the City County Utilities Commission. Stormwater rate increases, again, this is only the second time in 15 years that we have raised those, and an increase in motor vehicle privilege tax of $15 per vehicle, which will go exclusively to street resurfacing. What does that look like in terms of the potential difference in costs annually for someone who owns a median residential tax value property in Winston-Salem? Again, they would see less than a $100 increase in property taxes, a little over $40 for water and sewer charges, and you can see stormwater fees and the motor vehicle privilege tax, which is based on a 2-vehicle household, which comes to roughly $170 increase, or about $14 per month. In terms of how that compares to some of our peer jurisdictions, when we look at Raleigh, Durham, Greensboro, and Charlotte, the other 4 largest cities in North Carolina, combined property taxes, water and sewer, stormwater, and motor vehicle fees are significantly less in Winston-Salem in this proposed budget than they are in any of those other jurisdictions. Just a note on what the additional, after this evening, additional opportunities for public input and also the deliberations that the Finance Committee and City Council will be having, and that is all I have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tesh. I'm just going to start at the top and go down. My ability to pronounce your name correctly is directly proportional to your handwriting. So I will do the best I can. When you get up here, please give your name and address. And the reason we ask for your address, oftentimes people have comments, and the ask for information gives us a way of finding you. And I don't care if that's your home address, the P.O. box, where you work, just some way we can get hold of you. And I'll start with Mr. Terry Taylor.
Evening, Chairman Clark, Mayor Pro Tem, Mayor, and council members. My name is Terry Taylor. I live at 3716 Prides Road in East Bend, and I know that's not here, but close by in North Carolina. And I'm the President and Chief Executive Officer of Old Salem Museums and Gardens. And I'm just here on behalf of our board and our 111 employees and the thousands and thousands of visitors that come through the historic district each year to say thank you for continuing to support Old Salem. We are fully back open now, so we're glad to say that, and we appreciate all the support that we receive from city, county, and federal ARPA funds these past few years to help us get through COVID. It's been a lifeline for us, but it is exciting to see the historic buildings back. It's exciting to see the The children come visit us every day, and I have some tidbit of news that I can share, but not a lot of details. We hope that the tavern restaurant will be open by the end of this year. So I know that's the number one question I get about every single day. When is the tavern going to reopen? So we're very excited about that and everything that the district does to bring prestige and visitors to Winston-Salem. So just here to say thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you.
Next is Siat Shabazz.
Good evening, members of City Council, Mayor Jones. I'm here on behalf of
Can
the
you give your name and address for the record?
Kiat Shabazz, 897 Peters Creek Parkway, Suite 102, zip code 27103. And I'm here tonight to make an appeal, mainly to ask a question. What does our organization have to do to get the respect from City Council to at least give us a little bit more operating money? I thank you, Mr. Taylor. You've never lied to us. Since 2009, you have been committed and supportive of all that we do. And we do a lot with a shoestring budget. We have no staff. And even during the times of my medical challenges, I got out of my bed 3 days a week and came and worked. The veterans deserve it. They have a long list of challenges that they face each and every day, and they look to us to put a Band-Aid on their issues. Before you, I have left a folder with 12 agencies that we work with who refer veterans to us. It has gone so far as utility companies, hospitals. People have heard what we do for the veterans, and they refer the veterans to us. We cannot make it off of the little bit of money, and I appreciate the money that but we've been at a standstill with $25,000 for almost 10 years. What do we have to do to prove our worth? So I thank you, and those who do support us, we revere you. Good evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Gina Puckett.
Hello, my name is Gina Puckett. I'm the Program Director at Child Care Resource Center. We're at 500 West 4th Street, Winston-Salem, 27101. Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Adams, Chairman Clark, and City Council members, I would like to thank you on behalf of Child Care Resource Center, which formerly Work Family Resource Center, for your consideration of our request for the continued funding in the 24-25 budget. For the past 32 years, our organization has worked to make child care work better for families, for our child care professionals, for our young children in this community, for our businesses. And our support comes from a variety of sources, and the city's contribution to our work has been much appreciated, and we do appreciate the consideration for including us in the 24-25 budget. Our services include the helping families understand the importance of quality early education, the support of the child care professionals and informal care community that provides care for our children in this community. We do training and coaching for our child care professionals. We work with other organizations in the community. We work with businesses on trying to help improve and support the early education system, which is experiencing a lot of crisis right now. And so we are on a lot of groups and committees trying to help figure out solutions so that families have a way to work and have someone provide proper care for their children while they're at work. We combine dollars that the city gives us with other grants and things that we do, and the dollars that you contribute, they help provide the salary for one of our parent staff and for maintaining the database of all the child care programs. And that is very critical, and it is very, very appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Elizabeth Dampier.
Good evening, everybody. Chairman, Mayor Pro Tem, Mayor, fellow council members. I am Elizabeth Dampier. I'm the CEO at Callidium. It's my pleasure to be here tonight and to thank you for your support of Callidium over the past many years, and also for continuing the funding that is proposed in the FY25 budget. As you may know, this has been a busy year for Callidium. We sunset the Callidium North location and opened the brand new Callidium in mid-February in the heart of downtown Winston-Salem. So we're very happy to be in this place. And as you would suspect, we are seeing some great impacts very quickly. And so what I want to do is just share some of our statistics real fast with you so that you can get a bird's eye view of what's happening at Callidium. This is the first year that we've started getting back to pre-COVID numbers. So we've already seen over 100,000 visitors this year, starting back in July, with 60,000 of those coming since mid-February. So you can, again, see the impact of the new space. In addition, we've seen visitors from 39 states, plus Puerto Rico, Canada, and Australia already in the new space. Also, we continue to track visitors from those in our county who reside in low-income zip codes. And what we're seeing is that 61% of our visitors are coming from those low-income identified zip codes, according to the census tract data. The move downtown is also cementing our commitment to accessibility at the museum. For some visitors, I was talking earlier, it took 5 bus exchanges to get to Callidium North. That is no longer the case where we are located in our new space. So because of the commitment that you make, it allows us to offer this accessibility to our visitors. So I'm pleased to share that our Museums for All program, which allows those with an EBT card, a WIC card, or a Second Harvest Link to Feed card to come to the museum at a discounted rate of $3 per person any day and every day. And what we have seen is that at the old location, that was 8% of our visitorship. Now it's 16%. So those folks are visiting. In mid-March, we began to offer a Museums for All membership, and we've sold more than 40 of those in 2 months alone. It shows the impact and the commitment of this entire community to visit. Other worthwhile notes include more than 1,700 people have visited using the community access passes that you can use at the public libraries if you're a member and check out. And more than 550 people have come through our Blue Star Museums program, which celebrates veterans and their families from Armed Forces Day through Labor Day. We also continue to offer free community outreach memberships and day passes through 30 partner organizations in the community. So we are continuing to give back, and thank you for your support, which allows us to do that. I'll also say, if you haven't had a chance to be in the new Callidium yet, I'd love to take you on a tour and love to see you. Thanks so much again for your support. I appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Willard Bass.
Good evening. My name is Willard Bass. I'm at 603 Peters Creek Parkway. Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Clark, Councilman. It's good to be here among you all. The work of IDR has now come to about 20 years. We've done many things to figure out how to continue to work on this thing called systemic racism and oppression. And so I want to thank you all then for funding us and continue to help us to do this work going forward. It's not something that we can do alone, and nor is it something that's going to go away right away. But we do know that through the work that we're doing in the community, we think we can make a difference. Of late, we've done a quantitative study and gathered on online surveys that emphasize our current work that has expanded understanding of the role of race in our society and how to advance anti-racist goals, while also strengthening the resolve of our base of membership in order to change policies, behaviors, and beliefs that perpetuate racist ideas and action. It also creates a sense of belonging and connection with others who are committed to anti-racist work. We'll be spending the time over the course of the next year strategizing on how best to leverage these strengths as we build a collective of action and impact the advance so that we can continue to move our community and society forward. It's not easy work. As you all know, our environment now in our nation and states is very interesting, to say the least. And so all the work that we can do together is very appreciable. So thank you again for having us in the budget. I look forward to working with you all in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bass. Mr. Paul Ford.
Good evening, council members. Just very quickly, 1922 South Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, here with my hat on with Action for Equity, and do want to thank you all for the ongoing support, particularly for the Winston-Salem Freedom Schools, which is what this request was in regards to. The great thing to report is that last summer, the middle school scholars of the Winston-Salem Freedom Schools showed 24 months reading improvement during the 6-week program. And that's just a small sample, but it's consistent with what goes on in these Freedom School programs around the nation. This support helps to continue its growth and expansion as we improve incomes for our young boys and girls here in the city. So thank you again.
Thank you, sir. Danita Mitchell.
Good evening. My name is Danita Mitchell at 941 West Street. Mayor Joyner, Mayor Pro Tempore Dee Adams, and the councilman. I'm here on the behalf of YWCA Holly House, where we are a program for the YWCA, where we serve women 18 and over who have found themselves in crisis of substance abuse, mental health, co-occurring trauma, as well as estranged from their families and their children. Our program, we help them to get back into the community. We have on-site counseling in the house for substance abuse, as well as trauma counseling. We are a 6 to 9 month program where we help our ladies to become more productive in our society. We work with Downtown Health Plaza for substance abuse and mental health, as well as Daymart for substance abuse. I thank you all for the funding that you give us for the SOAR funding, because 90% of our clients are homeless, unemployed, and have criminal activity. So our goal is to help them move from the crisis stages of recovery to becoming self-supporting. Once they get to Holly House, all of their basic needs are met. After they've been there for 2 months, they can't work for the first 2 months. That is to get them stable with their mental health and their physical health. We're seeing an alarming rate of physical health as far as diabetes, high blood pressure, and some cancer due to being in active addiction to get them back in our community. So I do thank you for your funding, as well as once they start working, they'll open up a savings account, budgeting, and then back into our community. We are finding challenges with affordable housing for our clients. However, I can say that we have a private donor that has purchased us a home to help at least 3 of them start midway and maybe work with ESR with home ownership to stay there for 2 years. So again, I say I thank you for your funding, for helping us get our clients back into our community. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Sam Matthews.
I'm Sam Matthews with the Shepherd Center of Greater Winston-Salem, 1700 Everett Street, 27103. I just want to thank you for including us in this past year's budget and also this coming year's budget. You may or may not know that you're supporting the only North Carolina state-supported senior center in Winston-Salem. and there are only 2 in Forsyth County, and so we are one of those centers. Your investment in our organization allowed us to support over 8,100 older adults last year through a number of different programs. We set record numbers in terms of one-way transportation trips for older adults, 85% of which were in Winston-Salem. As I said, we serve most of Forsyth County, but 85% of those that we serve are within the city limits. We also responded to over 1,200 minor home repair requests. We seem to be the only entity in the city and the county that is actually installing grab bars for older adults who need that for safety in their homes. Additionally, I just want to thank you again for including us in the budget, and your support of older adults in our community has made a significant difference. In our third quarterly report to the city, I just wanted to share with you that your investment of $3,750 in that quarter returned an investment of over $136,000. For every dollar that you're investing in our organization this year, we're returning over $36 per dollar invested. So thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mr. Matthews. Therese Davenport.
Hey, everybody. My name is Sharice Davenport. I'm at 1720 Butler Street, and my foundation is at 2320 Country Club Road. First of all, I just want to say thank you for having me again, and I kept my word. I started the Smiley Sweets Foundation May 17, 2022, and I have accomplished so much in these last 2 years with this foundation. I'm honored here today that I have a partner with Mixer. I have a partner with the YEP program with Habitat for Humanity. I have a partner with Hope. They help me to provide cooking classes for the kids and their parents. I have accomplished so much with these partnerships that I'm doing a whole lot in these communities for these kids. My biggest project now that we're working on, with the thanks to Mixer, we'll be filming our Teen Talk, where we're giving these kids a safe place for their voices to be heard. And so I know y'all sitting up here saying, what does she have in her hair? Well, I'm being myself. And so I give these kids an opportunity to be who they are. You know, I'm showing them, be yourself, embrace who you are and love who you are. And these give these kids an opportunity to express how they feel. So I'm so excited about Teen Talk, and I can't wait to bring that to Forsyth about what we're gonna do with these kids, giving them a safe place for their voices to be heard. Who can help the youth? The youth. And so this Teen Talk is going to be about the youth, where we're going to have youth questioning youth, and the audience is going to be the youth. My podcast team, we just there to film it, but the whole floor is about the youth. And I just want to say thank you for having me and giving me the funding, because anything is better than nothing, but we do need transportation. It's hard to get the kids to Mixer. It's hard to get the kids to all these other places that we're doing. Winston-Salem State reached out. We're doing something with them June 20th, a science program that whole day for kids. So I'm just blessed to give these kids an opportunity that they might not have. And I have on a button that I made at Mixer. So I'm proud that I accomplished something as an adult. So can you imagine what those kids feel like when they accomplish something? I'm missing my grandson game. This is his last game of the year, but I sent him a little card and said, I'm proud of you because you started something and you finished it. And that's what I'm doing for these youth. They starting something, and I'm helping them to finish it. So I just want to say thank you, and y'all look forward. You're going to hear a lot from Smiley Sweets Foundation. Thank you, and have a wonderful and blessed day.
Thank you, ma'am. Tiffany Jones.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Clark, and the City Council. I am Tiffany Jones, 1158 Highway 65, Reidsville, and I'm here on behalf of River Run International Film Festival. I want to start by thanking the City of Winston-Salem for their past support and their proposed support for River Run. Our 2024 festival had 11,755 attendees. 71% were from Winston-Salem and Forsyth County. 29% were from surrounding areas and across the United States, which included 10 states. We presented 197 films and panel programs, of which 49 were free to the community. And this past year, we hosted 24 year-round screenings, 21, which are free to the community. The goals we set for this past year were to increase the number of participants served annually at the festival and our year-round screenings. Our goal was 14,000, and this year we hit 13,576 attendees, so we came very close. We wanted to also further increase the number of free screening programs offered to the community. Our goal was 70, and we hit it exactly with almost 2,000 attendees. We wanted to work with more of our community partners to ensure we reach all segments of Winston-Salem and Forsyth County. And our goal was 30 partners, and our total for this year was 43. And we wanted to maintain our marketing and PR efforts outside of Forsyth County in support of River Run and local tourism here. And our marketing and PR included ads in our local media outlets as well as national publications such as Variety and Art State magazines. And our visitors attending to the festival, again, 10 states, and it was over 5,000 people that came from out of state, out of the area. All of these accomplishments were made due to the generous funding from the city of Winston-Salem, of which River Run is most appreciative. Thank you for the belief in our work and your continued support.
Thank you, ma'am. Tasha Hargrave.
Good evening. I'm the lead organizer of Forsyth Freedom Federation. My address is 4260 Brownsboro Road, Winston-Salem, and I live in the North Ward. I'm before you today because we all know there's a housing problem in Winston-Salem. My story, 3 years ago, I gave birth to my son, and I thought I was going to be able to raise him in peace. And my landlord had evicted me because they were selling the house underneath me, nothing because of anything else. So I'm a college graduate that's a single mom that was employed and had nowhere to live. And I have heard this story thousands of times in our community. Forsyth Freedom Federation has been to 7 different precincts. We've had thousands of conversations, and it's a consensus from the community that Winston-Salem is more focused on attracting people here, but they forget about the people that live here. We actually hire people. A guy lives in a tent in the woods. He has the money, he just doesn't meet the requirements to live in places. So we're proposing that the proposed budget for the next fiscal year be amended to add an affordable housing trust fund to it to combat this homeless population that's going on in Winston-Salem. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Jermaine Randall.
Good evening. My name is Jermaine Randall. I live at 3510 Delane Drive, 27101. Like I said, my name is Jermaine. I've lived in Winston-Salem for over 39 years. I have 4 children. One is a graduate of Winston-Salem State University. I have another that's a high school graduate. One is in 9th grade at Parkland, and another a 5th grader at Bolton Elementary. Affordable housing is a challenge that I've struggled with personally. When I was a young teenager trying to live on my own, I had a job, but my housing costs far exceeded my earnings capability. So I made a poor decision in choosing a way to supplement my income by using illegal means. To make a long story short, I decided to become a criminal. It was a decision that has haunted me to this day. Like most criminals, I was able to operate with impunity until I was not. I was eventually able to turn my life around, and I received my bachelor's degree in business administration from Winston-Salem State in 2000. For years after receiving my degree and fulfilling my obligation to the courts, I continued to struggle with housing, this time because most people would not rent to me because of my criminal record. Now, fast forward about 17 years after my conviction and continuing to make an honest living for years, I concluded that the only way that I would be able to live the American dream was to author my own story by buying a home. In 2019, I bought the home that my wife and I now live in. I realized that my education provided me with the financial tools to be able to understand how to repair my credit, build and repair my credit, and turn my life around. But I understand that not everyone is able to turn their lives around the way that I did. What I also realize, if there are resources for the younger generation and people that have struggled in my situation, then they might be able to completely avoid the path that I chose in the first place. Our city needs to approve an affordable housing trust fund that should be accessible to everyone, regardless of their past mistakes. This council should keep in mind that for every individual it helps a family. For every family it helps, it strengthens a neighborhood. And for every neighborhood it strengthens, it makes our city a better city for you, for me, for everyone. I'm Jermaine Randall, and I approve this message.
Thank you, sir. John Myers.
How y'all doing?
Hello.
Good evening, sir. Hey, I'm John Myers. I'm with the Carolina Federation. I'm from I came from Brownsboro Road. That's where I stay. I've been in Winston-Salem for 44 years. I've lived here, and I want to see change. When I grew up, I was able to stay with my mom until I was able to graduate and get out of school. But nowadays, the situation is a lot worse. My children are not able to do the same thing. I have a criminal record, so it's been holding me back from getting my own places to stay. I work 3 jobs. I work at Twin Peaks. I'm a cook. I also work for the fairgrounds. I'm an operator, and I'm a canvasser. But that doesn't matter because my previous record would not allow me, so I still have to stay with my family, even though I have the money to have my own place. So I was hoping the only way that I can get somewhere to stay would be get a private owner or a slumlord who's going to give me the rent that they want to with no oversight, without repairing things that I need to be repaired. So hopefully this will deem y'all to do this affordable home because people like me need it. And I appreciate y'all for giving me time.
Thank you, sir. Camille Simmons. Am I close?
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right. Hello. My name is Camille Simon. I live at 220 Fiddler's Knoll Court, Kernersville, East Ward. The stories you just heard are powerful, and they are powerful individually. But I want to emphasize that there are plenty more just like them here in Winston-Salem. I, too, am from the Carolina Federation, Forsyth Freedom Federation. It's our local chapter here in Forsyth County. These are not one-offs or flukes. For thousands of people here in Winston-Salem, this is just what it's like to live here. Homelessness is increasing, for one, and the homeless are the most visible group. But not even considering them, how many more must struggle to make rent? How many more must ration their meals or go without medical care for fear of losing the roofs over their heads? Now, I know there's been a lot of conversation about the possibility of an affordable housing trust fund since at least 2019. I've heard multiple council members on several occasions express frustration at the fact that we've fallen behind other cities here in North Carolina on housing. I'm pleased that we share this sentiment because it is 2024 now and COVID is no longer ripping through the city. And the housing crisis here has only grown worse. This past September, on the 25th, the City Council heard a thorough presentation given by the at the time interim city manager, Tony, that explained and explored the many options and avenues for funding and implementing an affordable housing trust fund, including using money repurposed from inactive housing projects collectively referred to as selected non-ARPA related housing funds in the presentation. The total given was just under $6 million, budgeted but unused. There was much to do at the time about this particular slide of the presentation. There were several objections, as some of you understandably bristled at the idea that we would be abandoning those initial projects when what we should be doing is using those funds to properly tackle them. I empathize, it's a good instinct. But have we moved on these? It has been 8 months now. I don't have the specifics, but I'd love to see if these totals remain relatively unchanged or if we've managed to make some real progress with these projects. I know there's a sunken cost to consider, but this isn't an old Camaro in the driveway that we might fix up someday. Rents in the city are not the same as they were in September, and these funds, any funds, will have a lot less impact per dollar the longer we let them sit. I urge the council to please consider the urgency of this problem and budget accordingly. A budget is a list of priorities, and the proposed budget has cut expenditures for neighborhood services and housing development by 6.7%, plain as day on page 58. There's been a lot of conversation about the possibility of an affordable housing trust fund. Okay, good. It's possible, it's necessary, and it's time for less conversation and more action. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Matthew Mayers.
My name is Matthew Mayers. I live at 2844 Wesleyan Lane. Thank you for this opportunity to speak, and thank you all for being here, especially those who aren't even on the Finance Committee who are sitting here listening to us anyway. So thanks very much. And I want to turn to Mr. Pate and Mr. Tesh especially and thank them and praise them. I've been trying to follow these budget proceedings and read through all those documents online, and I love your budget. I think it's brilliant that you're turning toward planning for the future to pay for things as they come up in less of an emergency way and more of a planned way. So congratulations and thank you so much on behalf of citizens. I especially liked hearing earlier this afternoon Mr. Tesh saying something about things that we want to plan for in a sustainable way. You probably guessed that I like that word, sustainable. I come here and use it a lot. I'm especially excited about things that are not only environmentally sustainable, but pay for themselves. So I have a great idea for you. Solar panels. People have been doing solar panels for a lot of years. They typically pay for themselves in about a third to a half of the lifetime of the system. You have to choose where to do it smartly, especially nowadays with North Carolina. Our net metering system kind of stinks now, so you have to put them in a place where you can get plenty of energy and then use most of it or all of it yourself rather than having to sell it back to Duke Energy, who's not going to give you a very good rate at it. They're going to raise the rate they charge you, but they're not going to pay you very much for what you sell back to them. So how about the Elledge treatment facility for the wastewater? A lot of land there, several acres of open space, and they use a lot of electricity, really a lot of electricity. I believe it's more than half of all city operations electricity is used there. Now, I mentioned that you get about a third to a half of the lifetime of that system to pay off the system. And then, when it's time to replace those panels and inverters, you don't have to pay for the racks again. You don't have to pay for the wires again. You don't have to pay for Duke to say yes again. You don't have to pay for the permitting and the engineering and all that again. You pay about half as much, or it's going to be less, actually, because the cost of solar panels is coming down and down as are inverters. And then you get another 30 years of almost free electricity. Gosh, I'm down to 30 seconds. I had a lot more to say, but I won't. I just want to encourage you to think about that in terms of long-term budgeting, which seems to be a priority, and thinking about how we not just spend less, but actually get some of that money back. Another day, maybe I'll be able to talk to you all about the Solarize the Triad campaign, which might help you to make it even more affordable. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Margaret Collins.
Good evening. Hello, good afternoon and evening, Chairman Clark, Mayor Joines, Mayor Pro Tem Adams, and all members of the City Council. I'm Margaret Collins, and I am the founding executive director of the Center for Creative Economy. My address is 5212 Cedarwood Creek Drive. Thank you for your support of our organization this past year and for several years, and thank you for including us in the fiscal year 25 budget. I represent the Center for Creative Economy, and this allows our organization to host the 9th annual Velocity Creative Business Accelerator. Our programs provide inception stage business training for those that really need that training in order to grow and thrive. And we focus on creatives and artists to help them become viable entrepreneurs. We deliver robust curriculum and customized mentoring to fulfill our mission to launch, accelerate, and grow creative entrepreneurs and businesses. In these early stages, training is vital for the successful launch and growth of a company. 2025 is a pivotal year for us because we are now customizing our training and our robust curriculum and pairing it with mentors so that we can now work with entrepreneurs where they are in the moment where they are. So we're not offering a specific curriculum, but we customize it for each entrepreneur. We are also working as a leader in our entrepreneurial ecosystem with the city of Winston-Salem, and we want to make it the most conducive place for startups and entrepreneurs to succeed at every stage of the life cycle. And we're working and collaborating with Greater Winston-Salem Inc. and Flywheel and Winston Starts and Hustle and many other organizations. We want to be known as the place for creative entrepreneurs and all entrepreneurs to put down their roots and build thriving enterprises. So we've launched over 126 companies, $25 million in revenue has been earned by those companies, and $29 million in investments have been made in those companies. 269 jobs have been created. 64% are female and 40% are minority founders. So we have a really diverse and inclusive program. And with the City of Winston-Salem funding, we're going to be able to continue this vital support. And I also want to thank you and mention the economic development funds that you provided for us. We have now launched the Pathway for Entrepreneurial Success program in January for low to moderate income individuals. We are teaching entrepreneurial mindset training. We've launched 2 cohorts already, and we have 3 more scheduled for 2025. And I look forward to updating you on that program at another time when it's convenient for you, because we're really making great progress. And Mayor Pro Tem Adams came to our final presentations back in April. So thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. I've got 2 folks that have signed up together. You may come up together or separately, however you want to do it. Jason LaGrange and Elaine Lawson.
Thank you.
Man, get your picture on TV there.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Chairman, and members of council. My name is Jason Legess. I am the Director of Youth Education for Mixer Community Makerspace. We're located at 1375 North Martin Luther King Drive here in Winston-Salem. I live at 124 Saban Avenue. I'm joined today by our Executive Director, Elaine Lansom, and my son, Daniel, who's here for earning a Cub Scout requirement tonight. Figured we'd double work. First, I wanted to say thank you for recommending Mixer for continued funding for the support of our STEAM education initiatives. Mixer STEAM is committed to ensuring that young people have access to the tools, tech, and knowledge, so they know all the opportunities that are out there in the world for them when it comes to post-secondary. Our programs focuses on ABCs. Very simple, right? It's achievement. We want all young people to feel like they've come and they've learned and they've achieved and they've grown in some way. It's about belonging, creating a sense of community and belonging where young people feel safe to express themselves and grow and learn. And it's curiosity. How do we keep young people curious? You only grow in the directions of the questions you ask. And so how do we inspire young people to ask questions? The funding from the city will help us expand to year-round programming. We've served kids in the summer in the past. Now we're able to grow and offer opportunities for them to be exposed to STEAM fields all year round. We'll focus on career exploration and early workforce development, and provide youth with an opportunity and options. It's cool if you want to go to college, but why? If you enjoy working retail, that's cool. If you want to go work at McDonald's, that's awesome, but don't go just because you think it's your only option. The funding you are providing is going to help us shed that light for young people, but there's more work to be done. The achievement gap here in Winston-Salem for Forsyth County Schools is real. Only 29% of Black students are grade level proficient in math. 35% of Hispanic students, compared to 71% of white students. If we take race and demographics out of that and we just look at funding, economically disadvantaged students, only 33% of them are proficient in math, compared to 67 of non-economically disadvantaged students. At the beginning of the year, there was an article in Forbes magazine that talked about standardized testing and what it really measures. A standardized math test is not measuring a student's proficiency in math. It is measuring the life experiences that they have. Kids do better in school when they experience and contextualize their learning. Mixer is working with our partners at Smiley Sweets, with Delta Fine Arts Center, with numbers of organizations around the community to expand that reach, and we need more help to do it. Thank you all for your time this evening, and thank you for considering to support Mixer again.
Thank you, sir. Harold Smith.
Hi, my name is Harold Smith, and I live at 3579 San Carlos Road. I'm here on behalf of my board of directors, and I am president of Eureka Ministry. We serve the ex-offender population in our city. Now, we give you credit for the past 4 years, the past 10 years, you've assisted us in preventing ex-offenders and their families from being evicted from their homes. Some of them only owed $100 or $200 or $300, and we step in and do that for them. And we can only do that because of you, and we thank you for that. And we ask that you will continue to assist us, and we'll continue to help our ex-offender population, because those are the ones that are forgotten. And visit our website. We do some other things too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That is the last person who has signed up. If there's anyone else in the audience who would like to speak, you may come forward. Your chance to be on TV. Okay. With that, we will be finished tonight. Our next budget meeting is this date next week, Thursday at 4 o'clock. Thank y'all very much. We are adjourned.